one thing I noticed, I'm going to start with this at the beginning because I think I was most impressed by this, is that in the initial episode you see a bully, hassling the main characters, but there was also some racial overtones to the things I was saying, which I think is not something I've ever seen in a cartoon before, but also very authentic to the real world. So I was very impressed by that. So can you talk about a little bit about what you think that impact is on the kids at home who are watching?
What's interesting? The Carney Ray bullying thing in the first episode, I don't know for certain. I'm not doing a study or anything, but my feeling is it's not going to have that great an impact on kids at home in the sense that they're just going to recognize it as real life.
Right.
And I think what it's going to do is add to the overall affinity for the show. It's like, this show gets me, I get this show.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that was my big thing reading that episode, was like, what's unique about this is if you've ever seen any bullying or any sort of negative stuff of a child's life portrayed in an animated show like that, it's usually in a very special episode.
Right, yes,
and they deal with it and they wrap it up and that's the end of it. And then you never hear about it again. But this was just, this is one part of Ray's day in his life every day.
Right.
Just like it is in yours.
Yeah.
And it was fun for me also because I got to play Carney, the bully.
Yeah.
So, and it was kind of weird because you're trying to, tread a line. And you're dealing with stuff that, certainly I've never gotten to deal with in an animated show. It's like, okay, is this too mean?
Right.
And what's interesting is later on that character comes back and you get a little bit more of that story.
And there's always more. There's always more. So, talk a little bit about, your character and your approach and, kind of what you would or you like him to ultimately advance to.
Well, as to where the character's going to go, that's really more of a question for the writers.
Right.
For me, I know who he is. I don't know who he's going to be. And Gabe, the character I voice, although he starts out as very insecure, not really at home in his body, or wherever he is. And really uncomfortable with the Kaijudo stuff and how freaky it is.
Yeah.
What I find fascinating is the way that the Kaijudo world actually helps him become more secure.
Yeah.
The thing that he was most afraid of is becoming his saving grace, and it's helping him grow, as a person.
I thought that one of the things about Gabe was because he was so smart, I feel like that was part of the reason why all this was freaking him out so much, because it was not logical. Would you...
You know what? Actually, I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
Because I think he was freaked out because he's a fearful person. He's afraid of change, like most of us are.
Right.
It's like, I don't know what this is. I don't know all of the ways in which it could hurt me, but I will stop and think about them before I am tempted to do anything.
Right.
That's just that fear that we all live in. What's funny is, as he connects with Gargle in the water civilization, which is eminently logical, he finds, I do get this.
Right.
This totally makes sense to me. Whereas for Ray and Allie, it's just like, okay, I don't get that civilization, but Gabe is right at home.
Perfect. So besides the show, which I have been enjoying, you're also Jon Stewart.
Yes, I did the voice of Jon Stewart on Justice League.
And I know that, with Avengers doing so well, they're probably going to spin some movies out. So just as a generality, what do you think the chances are that Jon Stewart makes it onto the big screen?
I don't know.
You don't know? No.
Dennis Haysbert has been pitching it for like 5-6 years, and he is that guy.
Yeah.
So I would hope, maybe if the first movie had done a little better, although I think they're going to do a sequel, so odds are some version of Jon Stewart will be on screen pretty soon. you know, I think that character would be right for his own central thing, but what you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? All right.